at this point, one of the best skills that you can have is understanding this idea of factoring. How can we take a sum of terms, a polynomial of some type, and factor it? My encouragement to you is to do the best you can understanding how to factor. Because as you continue to proceed in math, we're going to find out that the skill that we're going to keep coming back to is factoring problems. Because once problems are in factored form, that's going to help us identify solutions. And a lot of the problems that we're going to kind of explore, the application problems, the problems we want to make sense of in the world around us, a lot of them can be modeled by some type of a polynomial. But to find the solutions of those polynomials will often require factoring. So let me give you a general strategy that you can use when we run across any type of problem that looks like it could be factored. And we're not always going to have problems in their same sets. We're not always going to have a series of different squares or a set of sum of cube problems. Every time we look at one, we have to evaluate it from that point. So here's how we do it. First thing, it's a good idea in your game plan to look for a greatest common factor. See if something factors out. And then look at the result from there. From there, identify if it has two terms. And maybe the two terms is one, it's a difference of squares. And we know that we have a shortcut with that. It could be the sum of cubes or the difference of cubes, of which we have shortcuts. So check for that. If it has three terms, check to see if possibly it's a perfect square trinomial. One in the positive version and one in the negative version. If that's a possibility, check that out. If it's a trinomial that doesn't have an automatic perfect square, then it's that process of trial and error. Look for all the solutions of the constant that add up to the middle term and narrow those processes down. And that's kind of a trial and error approach, but it's a good approach because we've given you some skills of knowing how to do that. Maybe if it has four terms, try grouping. Group the terms in such a way that it might produce a way to continue factoring. The next step is once you've done the first set of factoring, go beyond that and see if that your result requires additional factoring. And then lastly, check your answer. Once you get done, you can multiply all the factors together and unreverse our process back to our original problem and see if they check. I hope this helps, but please take the opportunity to practice these because we as your math instructors, we as your guides in this mathematical journey will appreciate you so much the better that you can learn how to do these things. So give it a shot.